Listen, my fellow engineer, hundreds of other applicants have already been straight up rejected from this company that you just got an email back from, meaning that you're special and they saw it. Okay, so you could stop being nervous and thinking, oh, I need to prepare 5 hours a day until that interview. No, you don't, okay? You quite literally don't. Because given that you're in this situation that you're at right now, you've got a pretty good chance that you actually get this position, all right? And the chances will only increase if you listen to exactly what I'm about to tell you in this video. So you finally heard back from a company and got an interview. Listen to my first tip. What you want during that interview is you want things to flow clearly, okay? And what I mean by flowing clearly is having clear communication between you and that hiring manager, all right? So just act like a normal human being and have hand gestures. Don't be stiff and like upright, not trying to move, you know? You can let yourself just move and breathe, you know? Because when you breathe, you get oxygen to your brain, and when you get oxygen to your brain, you get to think clearly, and when you think clearly, you answer clearly, and when you answer clearly, you get the job. All right, so that's what you want to do. You want to make things flow. Now, I can say confidently right now that this is probably the most important piece of information that I could currently provide you, because during my interview that got me my first internship, things flowed really well. That was like the number one noted thing that I took away from that interview. I clearly communicated my ideas to the hiring managers, and they clearly received those answers. Okay, so when you're in that interview, don't be stiff, don't be a robot, okay? Nobody wants to talk to a robot. If they wanted to do that, they could talk to ChatGPT or something, you know? Interviews won't connect with you if you're acting like this stiff robot, you know? Humans want to connect with humans, okay, and not robots. So make sure to add some hand gestures when you're talking. Make sure to breathe, as I said before, okay? So just don't act like a robot. On the other hand, you don't wanna overdo these hand gestures, being like, oh yeah, I'm this great engineer and I'm a leader. I know how to communicate. You don't wanna be over the top, because we're engineers, we're not drama kids, okay? Don't be dramatic. They have had many cheesy interviews before, and they're not looking for another one. They're not looking to cringe today, okay? Please. Just be simply comfortable in your own skin. That's it. Just be simply comfortable in your own skin and talk naturally, as if you were almost talking to a friend, but in a professional setting. Next tip, do not script what you're gonna say, okay? By all means, do not script what you're gonna say. They have had many interviews before, and they could tell when somebody is over-prepared and thinking exactly what they're gonna say. They can tell, okay? They've got experience in this field. Engineers are not actors, so do not try to act. So the main tip is to know your story. Just knowing your story and certain experiences that you could draw upon when you're in this interview is going to really help you to answer any sort of question that they throw at you. But you're probably asking at this point, which specifically can you draw upon? Look at this list. I was feeling pretty darn generous today, and I wanted to share something from my job hunt course. So here it is. Influence, adaptability, communication, commitment, organized ability, and problem solving and decisiveness. Now, these are the most common topics that interviewers want to know about you. So you're going to want to have experience at the top of your head for each of these sort of sections of the interview. Okay? So for example, if they ask you a question about influence, like, tell me of a time where you got others to see things your way. You're gonna answer with maybe sometime in a design group that you got others to see your point of view of this robotic arm and how you should make it, why you should make it maybe 3 degrees of freedom instead of 4 degrees of freedom, because you thought that it would be more simple and we wouldn't have the time to finish it before the deadline, you know? If you got anyone in any group that you were in to see things your way, have that experience under influence. Now for adaptability, if they ask a question about adaptability, you're gonna have probably an experience where in a group project setting, an unforeseen problem arose and you were able to guide the team to adapt to this problem. And that just goes the same for all of these other topics right here. Communication, you could talk about leadership, commitment, you could talk about a time where you went and worked overtime hours in a job that you didn't even like. So yeah, you could just screenshot this and recall upon it when you're preparing for your interview. Got it? All right, moving on. The next tip is that you must be honest, okay? You must be honest. There's a high chance that when you're not honest, you get caught off guard from a follow-up question that they ask, and then you freeze up, you're like, oh, what do I say? And then they could tell at that point that you're lying. As I said before, they have had many of these interviews. They can tell when somebody is lying. And let me tell you, okay, lying is not a good look for us applicants, okay? We could almost lose the chance of ever getting that job at that point once they catch you lying. Okay, so don't lie. Just don't lie. If you can't answer a question immediately, you could literally just say, oh, that was actually a really good question. Let me just take 10 seconds to think about that, please. And then they respect that, you know? You take your time, you look at the wall, sort of ponder, and then you give your answer. No need to rush things, okay? No need to rush things. And if you don't know the answer, you could simply tell them, that was a good question, but I don't have an answer for that. This just shows a great level of maturity, okay? So if you do these things instead of lying, there is, I can promise you, a greater outcome for you. So yeah, just please be honest for your sake and for my sake, because I quite frankly don't even want to live in a world with lying engineers, so I don't think anyone else does either. Last tip, you got this, my friend. Don't be nervous at all. You got the job offer, and chances are already high. Now, if you need more help and guidance during this job hunting period, you can join my course and community down below, where I will help you step by step and guide you along the way how to get your very first internship or any other engineering position. Now, in this course, I also offer bonuses such as templates for resumes, design portfolios, and cover letters so that you can quickly get your very first engineering internship or engineering position. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.